Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a new Brizy webinar. Before we get started, please let me know if you guys are hearing me okay. Hey, Scott, Leonard, hi guys. Chris, here we are, yeah. Stefano, hey guys. Marco, Roy, excellent. Video is okay? Can you see my mug? Perfect, excellent. If you guys, if the video is freezing or the sound starts to make some trouble, just hit a refresh or try a different browser. Sounds great in Holland. Excellent. Great. Let's get this party started. Tonight we'll talk about global headers, footers, and blogging in your Brizy WordPress website. So this is basically a WordPress-oriented webinar. I'm flying solo tonight. No guests, no GP. He'll come back soon enough. But I have some cool things to show you tonight, especially for those that still want to learn about headers, footers, how do you put it on all the pages, and about blogging and dynamic content. The objectives tonight is to show you how global headers and footers work and how you'll be able to put them on all your pages and create a website with headers and footers. We'll also show you how templates work and dynamic content from WordPress, how you'll be able to create a blog post listing, and also how you'll be able to leverage this templating feature to create a blog article template. The game plan for tonight is the following. We'll be here around 60 minutes, maybe 70, but I'll try to keep it in 60 minutes. The showcase I'll be showing tonight is pre-recorded, so I'll be able to stay in the chat with you and answer some questions, and so please put them there. We'll answer them when the videos are over. At the end, I have a good surprise for you. I hope you like it. And please, if there are some tech questions, I'm not the guy to answer them, and not, for sure not in this webinar. So if you need something in this regard, please visit our support link on brizy.io. A few words about myself, if you guys don't know who I am. I'm Dimi. I'll leave my family name alone. It's hard to pronounce in English. I'm one of the co-founders here at Brizy, and mostly what you see regarding the interface, I've handled it, I've designed it, and I'm working on that. You can call a veteran in the web space. I work in the web since early 2000s, and with WordPress since 2009 when we founded TeamFuse. And I'm sort of a gamer at heart, although lately I don't have much time to shoot up my PlayStation. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, let's get started. I'll start the first video. You'll see here, it's about 70 minutes long. You'll see here everything about global headers and footers, how you can create them, and how you'll put them on all your Brizy WordPress website. Let's get started. I have set up a couple of pages here. These are basic pages. Let me go to the WordPress admin. By the way, you'll need Brizy Pro for this because headers and footers are blocks included in Brizy Pro. So you'll need a Brizy Pro license to be able to use headers and footers. On the pages side, I've created a couple of pages. I can show them to you. These are basic pages created with our new kit. These are basic blocks. You'll want to modify this with your content when you create the pages, but these are basically some normal blocks put together in a couple of minutes. What we want to do now is add a header and the footer and put that across all pages, and also create a menu for the header. So let's get started. First things first, we'll need to go to, you can pick any of the pages. I'll choose the home page. I did with Brizy. And here we'll want to add a header block. Let's pick a standard and default one. You'll want to add a header block, and Brizy works a bit different from other tools maybe that you are used to. We look at headers as blocks. You don't go anywhere outside the builder to create them or to put them on different pages. And I'll touch on that later. But what you want to do is, when you think about headers and footers, think about adding a block. So basically, if you want to add a header, you'll add a header block. If you want to add a footer, you'll add a footer block. And you'll want to add a header block and not create it necessarily from scratch, although you can do that if you want. But header blocks come with certain options that are available only for header blocks. For example, this sticky option that will let you put your header, make it sticky or make it fixed, or things like that. Okay, so this is a menu element. As you can see, we don't have a menu yet, so we'll need to create one in order to appear here. So I'll create a menu in WordPress. You need to go to Appearance Menus to create one. Let's name it, sure, why not, Main Menu. And I'll just add all our pages in the menu. Let's put services on top. Save. I'll hit an update here in the builder. We'll need a refresh in order for the menu to appear here. As you can see, it's not here yet, but if you update the builder and hit a refresh, it will go there. I think it will be automatically. No. Okay, we need to select it from here. So as you can see, the main menu appeared here. So we selected, and this is actually the menu that we have here. Let's play a bit with the styling. I think I'll go with, let's go with serif. Maybe play a bit with the spacing. There are all kinds of features here that you can experiment with. You can make it a hamburger menu, and this will, when you click it, will open a tray, a sidebar tray. Everything here is adjustable, fonts, colors, and things like that. So I'll let you guys play and experiment with this. I'll just go with a static. With a normal standard menu. So we have this menu, right? We have a logo. Let's put a link here for the logo to go to the home page. And we have the menus. We can play with the colors, maybe go with actually I like this one for the hover. As you can see, the menu has already an option set for the animated menu. So basically, we have this here. We have a sticky option. So when you select sticky, let's touch a bit on that. When you select, when you work with the header, we can make it either a static header, right? It's basically a header that stays on top of the page as a regular header, as you can see on all the websites. You can go with a fixed header that will be on top when you scroll. And the third option is you can go with a sticky header. And this is very cool about this option, because the sticky header lets you basically create here in this container, in this header, a different kind of header. So basically you can put here anything you want, right? It's not necessarily to be the header itself. We can select the header if we want. We can select the main menu here, but maybe you don't want a menu, right? Maybe you want, for example, a button. You create a, I don't know, offer for your users, or you have a discount, or you have something like that. So let's delete the logo here and maybe put a text. So basically you can control here and add everything you want. So you'll have the header on top, and when you scroll, this sticky header will appear that you can fully control and put everything there. Okay, so we've created the header. Let me also add a footer. Of course, with footers it works the same. You go to the footers category here in the block header. Let's select, let's go with this one, why not? The same here, we have a menu element. Let me show you the menu element. This is the element that you'll drag, but we've already embedded in the block. If you drag it directly from the sidebar, as you can see, it already populated the main menu we already have created in WordPress. Let me delete this one. I'll set the same font here and play a bit with the styling. Okay, so right now we have a header and a footer already created. The next step is to put these header and footer across all our pages. What we'll do is transform these blocks in global blocks. We have this option here at the block level. You can make it a global block, and what this does is it saves the block and make it global. And I'll do this for the footer as well. And now when we go on the other pages, what we'll need to do is basically go through the pages that we have. I'll take about, and we'll add the header and footer, but not from here, from the normal blocks, but from this tab, from the global blocks that we just saved. I'll add the footer here. So basically what I'll do, it adds the same footer that we saved earlier. Let's move it on top. And also add the footer that is also global. You can tell if a block is global if you look at this icon. This means that this is a global block. I'll just hit save, and then we'll go to the next page. About this thing that you'll need to go through all the pages. we are working right now. I'm not sure you're familiar with, but we are working right now to create a block conditions feature that will let you put all the global blocks or basically any block. It will let you add it and set conditions to appear across the website from a couple of clicks. So this will change. You will not have to put the headers and footers on every page manually when we release that update. But for now, this is how you'll do it. You'll save them as global blocks and then add the header and footer on all the pages. Okay, we're on services now. I think this is the last page. Global blocks, we add the header. I'll just move it on top. And the footer. Of course, if you want to go creative and play with things, you can move the header under the first section, if, for example, or do things like that, right? The pages are independently controlled, so basically you can mix and match here and move the blocks around without problem. This will not move the header on the other pages as well, so only on this page. I'll just hit update. And now let me close these tabs. And now let's preview our websites, our small websites. As you can see, let me just open an incognito window so we don't get that dashboard bar, WordPress bar on top. So this is it, right? We've created a header and added on all the pages. So basically, if we go now, we'll see that this header is added and footer is added on all the pages. And what's important about this and about global blocks is that right now everything you modify in the header and the footer, because they are global blocks, all the changes will apply on all the pages, right? So let's modify something on. I'll just I did this with Brizy, and let's change, for example, let's change the background color, or let's go with this one. And maybe, I don't know, you can change anything you want here. Let's put a border just for. Not sure why you'll want to have this header with with the pop-up border, but yeah, you can do it if you want. Let's go with background image as well. I'll just choose one from. Okay. Let's go with this one. Oh, sorry about that. So we have our new header. I'll just hit update, and if we preview this, you'll see that the changes made here on the services page will be pushed across the pages. because we were working on a global block, and this will push all the changes on all the pages. So here is how you basically do it. You create a header by adding a header block. After that, when you're finished with the block and you are happy with it, you'll save it as global, and then you'll add it on all the pages from the global blocks section. You'll do this now, but in a couple of weeks, I think we are maybe 1 month, 6 weeks away from the global block conditions, display conditions, and that will let you basically how it will work. You'll go here, and when you activate the make it global option, you'll get another option that will let you set display conditions. So you'll basically say there display on all pages, and that's it. You'll have a header on all the pages without the need to add it manually. Let me show you how you can create a transparent header. You'll go to the block below the header in the more settings, and here on the margin you'll set the top margin to a negative value. This will bring the header on top, and then you can bring the opacity of the header to 0, and voila, you have a transparent header. That's about it. Thanks. Let's see the chat. That's about it. Thanks. How do you make, George asks, how do you make the menu shrink when you scroll down the page? There is an option there on the menu, and you can on the header, you can basically choose between make it static, it will stay with the scroll, make it make it animated or sticky, and on the animated option, the menu actually creates another instance of itself, right? That container. When you scroll the page, you can delete all the elements there and put whatever you want. Yeah, sure. No, is the hamburger menu adjustable? Different colors? Yes, for sure. You can increase the size. You can control the colors individually for desktop, for responsive. Yeah. Yes, the webinar will be available tomorrow on our YouTube channel. Okay, guys, let's. Yes, you can make only a smooth scroll effect. We have actually on links. We have an option. You can link to an URL, or you can choose to link on a block in the page. And when you select that block in the page, it will when you click a link, a button, or a text, this depends where you put that link, it will smooth scroll to that block. Yes, Jay, anchor links, yes, of course. Okay, let's move the party to our next video, and this is about blogging and templates. Roy asks, can the menu have a bottom line? Yeah, sure. You know that the menu, you mean the items in the menu, right? Not the header. Yeah, I think you mean the items in the menu. Right now we don't have that those options, but we are discussing to add different options on how that will work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Let's go on. Blogging and templates. I'll start the next video. I'll be in the chat. If you can't hear audio, please know that you can hover on your side, the video on your side, and unmute the audio. So let's get started. What I have here is I've set it up a bit. We have a basic website here. I've created a couple of pages. It has a global header and a global footer, as you can see here. And what we'll want to do is add a blog in the menu and then create templates for the blog listing and for the article details. Let's go to the dashboard. I'll walk you through a bit on my setup here. I have a couple of posts, some dummy content on different categories. The theme I'm using is the Brizy Starter theme. You can download this from our website. It's basically a stripped to the bones, optimized for speed theme that we've created and we use, but you can use one of our partners. We have a nice list of recommended themes that work with Brizy flawlessly, so you can go on our website on brizy.io and pick one from there. On the plugin side, you'll see that I have Brizy Pro installed, so this is a must. You'll need to have a Brizy Pro license to use the templating features and the dynamic part of WordPress in Brizy. So you'll need the Brizy Pro for this. If you don't have it and are interested in purchasing it, go to our website and get a license. And that's about it. First thing that we'll need to do is go to appearance menus and add the blog in our main menu. So I'll choose the blog category here and add it in our main menu. And next, let's go to Brizy templates and start creating our templates. I already have two here. I've done some testing and did some designs beforehand, but we'll start from scratch and we'll build everything from zero. Right, so we are creating a blog listing. These display conditions are very important. You'll need to, what you'll select here is where is this template applied, right? You'll include it. We wanted to include it on categories because this is a blog category where we'll apply the template. And we can select a specific category. For example, if you'll want to build different templates for different categories, that's perfectly fine. You'll select here, I don't know, you'll have a template for development section and maybe a different design, a different template for the design section and things like that. But for convenience, I'll just select all, and don't forget to click the add so the condition is applied. I'll publish this template. And then we'll basically go to the good stuff and edit the template with Brizy. As you can see, the basic blank canvas is loaded. So what we'll do now, we'll actually build how the blog listing will we want to display. So first things first, what we need to do is add our header and our footer, but not from this section, from the blocks section, but from the global block sections. I have the header and footer saved here. If you want to know how to create these global headers and footers, we have touched on that, and I link to that video on the comments. So we add the header. This is a global header, as you can see from here, from this icon. And I also add our global footer. So we have the header and footer. And now we'll start creating the blog listing. Let's go with a hero section here. Let's go with this last one. What do we want to say here? Welcome to our blog. We'll touch on this button a bit later, and then we'll want the blog listing. Let's go with a blank block. And in this block, we'll add a dynamic element that you can find in Brizy Pro, and that is called the archive element. Archives. This element is a special one because you will not find it anywhere else, but only when you create templates. We'll drag this on the page. And this element comes with different elements like images, as you can see here, post title, post excerpt, a button. Let's touch a bit on the dynamic part of WordPress. What these dynamic elements are basically, these elements bring part from WordPress, like featured image, like post titles or post excerpt or author images and things like that. So basically any image you have can be transformed in a dynamic element from this icon. So if we would have a normal image, a basic image, you can upload here an image, for example. But we don't want that because we want these listings, these images to be loaded from the specific posts, right? So we want them to be dynamic images. We'll select this as a featured image. And these are basically our posts. As you can see, they're only placeholders for now, but we are working to change that and to introduce a new way of building dynamic content in Brizy. Actually, in our last update, we've introduced a couple of elements and we are testing how this works. As you can see here, we have a post title element. So for example, if we drag this on the page, this will bring an actual title from the blog post we've created. And the same goes for excerpts. So let's put the excerpts here as well. I'll delete this and this. As you can see, if you click here, you can't edit the text because these are the actual titles from the blog post you create in WordPress. We also have a read more button that goes with a dynamic link to the post URL. We can delete this if we want, or in fact, let's actually delete this and put this link on the title. So basically, we don't have a link now, but we'll link the title to the post URL. And why not? Let's link the image as well. So when users and visitors of your blog click the image or the title, it will go to more details. Post URL. Okay. As you can see, we have only a row with 3 posts, but who has a blog with only 3 posts, right, on their main blog? So from the archives element, we can select how many columns and rows. Let's keep it on 3 and maybe add, I don't know, 3 or 4. Let's go with 3 rows. So we'll have 9 in total. I think we need a bit to adjust the spacing between the posts, just to let them breathe a bit. That's fine. Okay, so this is basically the main gist of it. Let's update it. If we go to our website, we'll see the new element, the new blog item here in the menu. If we go to the blog, you'll see that the new template we've created applies here on the blog listing. So here are your actual blog posts with featured images, and if we click the titles or the image, it will go to the post details, and we'll create a template for that in just a minute. Let me show you some tricks on how you can use the dynamic content from WordPress to display it in Brizy and create some nice things. Okay, so let's say you want to, for example, to add an author, right? You want to add on each post here in the listing the author and maybe the date when this post was created. What we'll do is add a text element, a simple text element, and we'll say something like buy. And this is important. We've created a way to let you add dynamic text basically in a sentence. So if you press the hashtag, this drop down will appear, and from here you can select what dynamic content you want from WordPress, right? So what do we want? We want the author name. So by author name on, again, hashtag. What do we want? We want the post date. So by author name on post date. Let's update it. And if we go to the home page, onto the blog category page and hit a refresh, we should get the author and the date dynamically. Let's say now that you'll want to maybe add a category, right? We have visitors that come to our main blog page, and we maybe will want to add all the categories from your blog. You have the blog separated in different categories, and you want to let the users jump between categories. What we'll want to do to add that, we'll want to go back to the WordPress admin and go to appearance menus. Create a new menu, right? We'll create a new menu called creatively blog categories. And add all our categories in this new menu we've created. I'll just save it. So we have all the blog categories here. And then we'll go back to Brizy templates. And on our blog listing that we've just created, we'll edit it with Brizy. And guess what? We'll add a menu element that will bring all categories here. So basically, we'll let our users jump between our blog categories. But let me, professional deficiency, I can't help but make this look a bit nicer. So let's put some space between the items here. Maybe play a bit with the fonts, a bit larger, and maybe you know what, let's add a separator, a line, sorry about this, a line as well, so we can separate this menu a bit. I'll remove the default margins so we can have the separators a bit closer, and maybe do the lines with a lower opacity, just to let the menu pop up a bit more and not the separators. So here we go. We have our new categories menu. I'll just save it and let's preview it. I'll hit a refresh. These are our new blog categories that we've just added. And of course, because we've included the display condition for this template to apply to all categories, when you will select a new category, you'll see that only the posts from that category will be displayed, because we are now in the development category or freebies and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Let's say now that you want to put something dynamic here in the header, right? So you for example, when you go to development category, you don't want to say welcome to our blog, right? So you need something to let your users know that they are on the development category. So how you'll do this, and this is very easy, how you'll do this, we'll use that hashtag, if you remember I've told you earlier. You'll put something here like welcome to our hashtag, and select archive title. The archive title is basically in this case, the category title. And after that you'll put maybe welcome to our archive title section, right? Section. Let me see, and I'll just move the padding here a bit, so we have the text on a single line, and hit save, and we'll see how that looks on the front end. Actually, before we do that, let me just show you that you can also modify the colors here as well. So basically, if we want to put this, let's try this purple, just to give it to pop up a bit more. I refresh on the home on the front end. Because we are in the development section and development category of your blog, it displays development here, but when we choose freebies, for example, it will be welcome to our freebies sections. And you can play with some very interesting and creative ways with this hashtag feature that will let you display the different parts of the WordPress dynamic content into Brizy. That's about it with the template for our listing. Let's go on and now create a template for our actual blog post. Okay, I'll go to the dashboard on the templates and start a new template. We'll call this article details. Of course, we'll want to include, don't forget, this is important because we've encountered this a couple of times. If you don't include this, add a condition where the template will be included, you'll encounter all sorts of problems because you will not have a template for your blog post. So we want to include this on posts, and of course I'll select all again, so you can see it did the job now. We'll publish it. And of course, we'll go again with edit with Brizy. And basically, we'll need to create our template for the blog article. So we have the new canvas again. We'll start from scratch. Let's go with a hero again. Let's pick a different one this time. I don't know, maybe something light like this. What I've just realized, don't forget your global headers and footers until we bring the conditional options for blocks that will let you basically put any block, but mostly your headers and footers on all the pages with 2 clicks. Until then, you have to have global blocks and add them on all the pages. And we need that as well on this page if we want to have a header and a footer. This is the header of our blog post. So what we will want here. Let's see, maybe this will be the title, right, of our blog post. We'll go here and select the post title element, dynamic element. So basically this is the post title. And this is heading 1. Okay, makes sense. I'll just put this on heading 1 as well. I think we don't need this. Let me delete the row here. And then what we need to do is actually add the content of the blog posts. I'll go here in the sidebar and scroll to the WordPress section, and then we'll see posts, content, and we just drag it on the page. And you'll see with this new approach where we separate elements, different part of the dynamic content in separate elements, this gives us the opportunity to display here the exact content we have in our blog post. These paragraphs, the images, everything you put here in Gutenberg in your blog post will be displayed here. We'll go in a second there and make some changes, and I'll show you how you can do it. Of course, here on the content side, you can't modify the actual content because that comes dynamically from your blog post. But you have some options here, and you can control, for example, the typography for every element, the paragraphs, the H1s, the H2s, and things like that. The same goes for the colors. So, for example, if we'd want these paragraphs to be, I don't know, purple, we just put it here, and this will overwrite the styling, that comes from Gutenberg. I'll just go with a dark color for our text, and this is basically our content, right? What I'd want to do here, I think the content is a bit too wide, and usually when you read articles, it's easier to not have this wide text paragraphs because are very hard to read. And what we do there are a couple of ways to do this. We can do it from the block side, so we can modify the width of the block and go like this if we want. Maybe make it 65. Looks pretty nice. Or another option would be to go and add a row. So we'll add a row element in here and have this column dragged here in the row. I'll delete the second column, and on the row options we have a width, and we can control the width for the content. It's basically almost the same thing, but the row gives you certain possibilities, right? You can, for example, put another column here. If we'll duplicate this, for example, and delete the content, we can have a sidebar here with different information, like I don't know, different links, or maybe a banner, a promotion, whatever, or display the sidebars dynamically from WordPress. So there are a lot of creative possibilities, and I advise you to play with it and see what's possible. But for the sake of convenience, I'll just go with only the content right now. 70, I think it's okay. Maybe 60 something, 60, 65. Okay. So this is the content, right? You'll have the content of your blog post, and let's say at the bottom here we want users to go to see posts, right, from a different category, or maybe similar posts from or the latest posts, or things like that. So you'll use this to keep them on your blog, to go through from one article to the other and link them around. So we'll add a blank block, and on this blank block I'll add a dynamic element that is called posts. You know what, let's make the background on this block, make it light gray, just to separate the header, like so. The elements come with the hashtag post title and post excerpt, but you can replace those, and we will replace those soon. When you drag the elements, it will have these shortcodes already, these elements already in there. But I'll just post excerpt. Okay, I'll just drag them from the sidebar. You know what? I think we can leave the read more button and maybe play with it a bit, make it round, or no, large is too large, make it small, and maybe I think the font a bit, align it to the left. Let's put the link on the title to go to the post URL. The image is already set as a featured image from the blog post. I think I'll need some spacers here a bit. And the post dynamic element comes with a couple of more options, or a couple of different options. Of course, you can control the columns and rows if you want to give them more options, more posts to go to. But you can also filter it, right? Now it comes by default as with uncategorized filter selected, but you can, for example, select coding, right? If you want to show them these posts from the coding category, and we have on our list to add here all categories, but I've created the category blog where all the posts are included. So basically, if I select blog category, I'll have the whole pool of posts there. So you can also filter it by ID, title, name, or even make it random. Let's make it random. And let's hit an update. We're in the blog section, and we can go to any of them. I'll just pick the first one. And here is our template in the works. This is the title. We have our 3 minutes read info. When you click it, it will smooth scroll to the content. The content all comes from Gutenberg. So basically, if you have let's say you have clients, right? You'll set up the templates from Brizy, and then they'll just use the regular WordPress Gutenberg to add their content and blog posts, and everything they add there, it will appear here. And of course, our posts that come from the blog category and are randomly picked. That will let you, maybe a title would fit here to latest or something you might want to read, or latest articles or things like that. Hey, that's about it, right? That's blogging in Brizy for you. Right now we are doing a bunch of improvements in the dynamic part. As you've seen, we are starting to add those elements that when you drag them on the page, you'll get the actual title, the excerpt. There are a couple of there that I didn't showcase, like post info with comments and things like that. You can, if you have a pro license, you can go test it and play with it a bit and see what's there. If you don't have a pro license, wait till the end of the webinar. You'll get a chance to get a nice discount. Okay, I have some questions here I've put down. Sven asked us something about the mega menu. It's not related to dynamic content especially, but is not related to that especially, but I want to address it because I saw that there was a couple of questions regarding the mega menu for the menu element. We have that on the list. We know how we want to do it. The Brizy way, you'll basically add a container there. Imagine the tabs or imagine the column, right? You'll add there a row, a container row, and in that container you'll be able to put everything you want: menus, images, and control everything. The only issue here is that we have it on the list, is not on top of priorities because we are neck deep in developing other important stuff right now. But it will come for sure, mega menu, and it will be a great addition, right, for when the WooCommerce builder will come, right? You'll have those nice mega menus with offers and things like that. Scott asks, are using these elements better than using the hashtag method? Well, in our opinion, it depends, right? The elements, the dynamic elements offer you a visual cue directly in the builder. You drag a title, a post title, you'll see the post title right there, or an excerpt, or any other element. We've introduced only a couple now because we wanted to see how this works and how it will be used and how to test it basically. But we want to go that route because we want to have this visual representation directly in the builder. But you'll want to use the hashtag feature, and I'll tell you why. Because you'll use that when you create or want to add different dynamic elements in one sentence. Right? You'll imagine you have something like by author name, on date, in category, right? To do that with only with elements, you'll need to have 3-4 columns. It's a mess, right? It will be kind of hard to do. But with this hashtag feature, you just write by hashtag and select the author, and so on and so forth. So you'll be, I'm guessing, we'll be using the different methods based on needs, but they do basically the same thing. They bring dynamic content in your Brizy pages. Jay says hash is like a wild card. Yes, it is. You know what's the problem there? There is a small usability issue there because it's not readily available. It's not readily available when you work with text. Because if you don't know to press the hashtag, it's hard to get there, right? But we are working on that front as well to make it a bit easier to understand and to work with it. CD asks, can you make the hero element dynamic? I think we've touched on that. CD, you can basically make any block, be it a hero or any other block, dynamic. You either use the post element and bring dynamic post there, or create it from scratch, right? You just drag dynamic elements or use the hashtag to display author pictures, categories, titles, and things like that. Carl asks, dynamic links for dynamic contents or header images dynamic? Are header images dynamic too? You'll see if you go in the builder on any page, on any element, but especially when you work with templates, if you add on a page a static element, you drag an image, for example, or you drag a text on the page, any option that you'll see a server icon near, you'll see a server icon there. that element can be transformed in a dynamic element. So in the image, you'll see the icon there. If you click it, you can select some options to make it dynamic. We have introduced dynamic options for images, for background images. So for example, you can use the background images to create that that hero dynamic element CD asked about. You can put, we have video, dynamic videos, we have dynamic maps. So you can add a map and play with that part and change the maps based on what post you're in. And go in the builder, look at all the elements, and when you see that server icon, know that that element or that option can be transformed in a dynamic element. Okay, let's see the chat a bit. Sorry guys, I'm flying solo tonight, so I have to pick it up a bit from Marco asks, is ACF supported in dynamic elements? Yes, Marco, we support 4 dynamic field plugins, ACF, Metabox, Pods, and Toolset. So these 4, we support them. The free versions anyway. So if you are using the pro versions of those plugins, you might encounter some difficulties with some pro fields they put there, but we have them on the list, and we want to address those pro options. Again, it's a matter of priorities, right? We need to push hard on the last steps we have for the block conditions, and we are still working on some important things. But we'll go on and work on the dynamic pro dynamic plugins in the future. I'm planning to create. I'm not sure if you saw. We recently added a layouts page on our website on brizy.io/layouts. You can go there and see it. I want to make a video in the next days. I'll post it on our YouTube channel how you can create that page with ACF the same way we did it on our website. Yeah, Marco. Okay, repeatable fields. Yeah, I understand. It's a thing we need very often. For example, for list or downloadable files. Yeah, I get it. You're not howling at death years, right? We hear you, but we just. I always say this: if we put all your lists and all your priorities for Brizy, they will not match for sure. You have different priorities, and it's hard to cater for everyone at once. But as we've proved until now, everything will be there. We just need some time and some focus. And yeah, for sure, I've heard Marco about repeatable fields, and have no worries. They'll be there. Let's see. I see a lot of pluses here for a question that Serge asked, but I don't see the question. Plus Serge, +1 Serge. I think I missed it. Maybe if you can copy paste it again. Ah, okay. Sorry, man. It's I'm alone here, right? So I'll need to. Yeah. Serge asked, you missed my question about next and previous buttons pulling titles dynamically. I think we have an element. I know we have an element in the works exactly for that. So basically, you will be able to drag it from the sidebar, and this is the only purpose for that element. It will add titles for the next and previous posts, and it will let users to basically navigate. Of course, you'll be able to change fonts, colors, buttons, and all the options you are already used in changing in Brizy. But that element right now is not there. But I know we are working on it because I've designed some things there. So so it will be there for sure. Yeah, yeah. CD asks if I already have 100 blog posts, do I have to change the template to? You have to apply. I'm working on default templates. What you've seen here, I didn't change. The template to Brizy template in the posts. All the posts are defaulted. And they don't apply anything from the theme, because the theme I'm using is the Brizy starter theme. We've created that. We've basically took a standard WordPress theme and stripped it down from any excess fat. I'm using that theme, and yeah, thanks, Anthony. I'm doing an awesome job. Thanks, man. So basically, we've stripped out that theme. I'm using that theme with default templates, and I'm applying the Brizy dynamic template to all the posts from that category, or for those single posts. You'll need to basically what you'll need to do is to create a template that will apply on all those posts or categories, or what you have there. And it should work. If no other issues appear, maybe you need to take great care of what conditions you set there, because if you set, for example, a condition for a certain category, and some of your posts are in another category, you might get some problems there. But it should work. If for some reason it doesn't, come to our support, submit a request, and our guys will gladly take a look and see what's there. We've encountered all sorts of issues, and I can tell you right now that over 95% of issues that we see are conflicts. Are conflicts between the team and the builder, or the plugin, or server issues, or things like that. So it might be something like that, maybe a caching issues. Although I think we've touched on that in the chat. So you said is not related to cache. What are our top priority? I can pronounce your name, man. This is a number. I'm guessing you are accessing the webinar from a phone or something, or our 5 priorities. You know what? Our main 5 priorities, we've discussed them pointly and point by point. I think a couple of weeks back in our webinar for and plans for 2020. I can share a link on that, but if you go on our YouTube channel, you'll just find it, and you can watch the whole thing. We've broken down everything there step by step. So please go there and watch that. You'll get a feel of what we plan for Brizy WordPress, and also we've made one separately for Brizy Cloud. So you have 2.5 hours to watch, and we do some showcases there. So okay, perfect. Excellent, guys. If there's not anything else, I'll just. I think we're past the 70 minutes mark. So. I think this is it. I hope you guys liked what I've showed you tonight. We've touched on dynamic content, on how you create templates for your blog posts, how you create templates for your single posts, also the global headers and footers, how you create them and add them on all your pages. I was very excited to make those videos for you. I saw a lot of questions in our community about how you work with Brizy on that front. I hope you enjoyed our time here. I know I did. I always do. So thanks a bunch for your support. We are always grateful and blessed to have an excellent and great community and support from you guys. It's overwhelming, and I thank you for that. Thanks, Carl. Thanks, man. Before we go, and this is important, as we always try to give something back to the community, and especially for you guys that always come here. I know that you don't always use these discount codes that we are putting out. They are mainly for the new guys and new users and that come on our webinars. But we are preparing. I'm not sure you know, but tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so we are preparing a nice sort of a discount for everyone in the community and everyone that is interesting to jump on board and purchase Brizy Pro. But the discount for this promotion will be 30%. For a couple of days, but for you guys, we'll add another 5% on top of that. This is the biggest discount we've done this year so far, and it will be available for you on email. I'll send the codes as I usually do over email, I think tomorrow, and the codes will expire in 10 days. Yes, I know, man, you are always asking about that lifetime deal. You know, that is already this discount applies only on early Brizy Pro purchases, or so on personal or on studio plans. You can get a studio plan, for example, with 35% and test it a bit. You have 1 year, and maybe if you like upgrade later on the lifetime, we can do that for you. But I'm not sure the lifetime will be on too much longer. We are preparing something on that front as well for the next week, so we'll take it one at a time. 35%, so 5% extra for you guys because you were here and you support us always. Thanks a bunch for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.